Hello, my name is Steph Thorne and I'm Director of Business Engagement and Entrepreneurship at the University of Suffolk. If it wasn't for global pandemics, a large part of my working life would be based at the Ipswich Waterfront Innovation Centre in Ipswich. The title of the presentation, My Kitchen as a University, is a reflection on the intersection of gender, enterprise and education. I have an interest in history, and around January this year I'd read Sarah Pennell's The Birth of English Kitchen, 1600 to 1850. Fascinating to read how so many socio-economic and technical transformations have been lived out through the life of a kitchen, and 2 months later this is starting to have clear resonance and significance for me. Throughout history, the kitchen has been a place of business, a place of service, a site of family contentment and otherwise, a site of gendered tension and quite often an empty space throughout, devoid of labour or company. Spring 2020 and the kitchen had found a new role, where enterprise education was being delivered through Zoom and other platforms, a kitchen available through a university. My university and all others across the globe became accessible via the home. Everything was thrown online at pace, staff and students went home to a variety of physical spaces and scenarios. The whole of a socially distanced university was becoming available via my kitchen table, a place where I was now also going to be in charge of the domestic cleaning and feeding routine for a family of 6. I was not alone. March 2020 is not going to be forgotten anytime soon. Amongst the incoming changes forced upon us at the time were some other interesting developments. International Women's Day, March 8, 2020, the UK's first dedicated female science minister, Amanda Selway, committed almost £3 million for female innovation. The Alison Rose Review of Female Entrepreneurship estimated that an additional £250 billion could be contributed to the UK economy if female entrepreneurs started and scaled their businesses at the same rate as men. So the importance of a gender lens on enterprise education, in terms of the productivity and financial gains, is beginning to gain momentum. At the same time, enterprise education is being propelled into the home. By April, there is already growing reflection that pre-existing barriers to business for female entrepreneurs are being compounded and exacerbated with a lack of finance and income making them more vulnerable. The gender priorities of unpaid caregiving and domestic labour with homeschooling, childcare duties and care of the elderly alongside running businesses was coming into sharp relief. The government support for business had no gender lens reflecting on this, and women's voices were not being taken into consideration. Similarly, these issues facing academics and professional services and staff in juggling their careers with the additional burdens thrust upon them was receiving scant little attention. As well as the challenges to women either running businesses or delivering education to future entrepreneurs, there is also some emerging benefits potentially on the horizon. Is there now an opportunity for real systemic change? Could flexible working and working from home be actually supporting creativity and productivity? Or is the space within which it was happening, the home, too fraught with the intersection with domestic life for the changes to be beneficial? The UK clearly needs more entrepreneurs. The financial and productivity argument needs to be taken forward. And whilst April 2020 saw commercial kitchens lying empty in the UK and across the world, the kitchen of the enterprise educators and students were full. We had to pivot and deliver as a team all of the services of the Ipswich Waterfront Innovation Centre virtually. We were all suddenly working from home and living at work. Commercial kitchens had emptied, domestic kitchens had filled, and the university and enterprise education was available there now. Engagement was increasing from parts of the communities hitherto unable to attend to physical events, and this included mothers and fathers, otherwise on school runs. Our extracurricular offer, our Games Hub, Enterprise Skills Programme, Ipswich Entrepreneurs and iTeam activities, all intersecting with the realities of children not at school. And in many ways, there's benefits from the flexible options this provides. For some, but not all, work-life balance was improving productivity. I was personally struck by how many catch-up calls with colleagues were happening within kitchens, and it also became clear that for some, this was the only place in the house with a child-free surface to work. For others, it was where work was being constantly interrupted by the endless requests for snacks. The carefully crafted space for education within the Ipswich Waterfront Innovation Centre, conducive to creative and collaborative experiences connecting students and businesses and enriching the curriculum, was effectively emptied and furloughed, still representing a cost but not able to offer any value. Did this learning space matter anymore? Have we been just mending and making do, or was it a time for change? Educators had learned to deliver education via a screen, whilst their professional and personal identity was becoming increasingly blurred in real time. This has been miserable for some, liberating for others. Academics, small business owners, large business owners, CEOs, PAs, students, all sharing the same approach to work and life while striving for creativity and solutions. Flexibility and a lack of presenteeism has long been touted as the solution to some of the challenges we face balancing work and life. However, this newfound flexibility for many was being found in the home, working where we live, living where we work. As well as opening a university through a device in your home, students and everyone now can access far more global opportunities for education through their devices. Inclusion of those normally culturally or physically not included in the work of enterprise education is there for us to grab hold of, and for connectivity and inclusion to come to the fore of our experience as educators and practitioners. Space outside the home has been of huge value during lockdown as we explored our localities on foot, on bicycle, and discovered spaces to clear our heads outside our homes. Rather than leaving home for education and business, we leave home for our private and domestic selves. Things have been turned on their head, and many things will of course be swept away for good. So in conclusion, this has been a real whistle-stop reflective tour on the last 6 months of the pandemic. Whole universities have been accessible to students and staff through a device sat in a kitchen, on a dining room table, or workshop or garage. Kitchens are still bearing witness to major socio-economic changes, and there is real opportunity here for how we approach education and business creation. Further research and policy inclusion is important if any real gains can be made from the opportunities. This reflection makes clear there's potential for further research on the opportunities we have before us. If you'd be interested in discussing further or sharing your thoughts, please do contact me via email or social media, and I will respond via my kitchen.